Hi there. For some reason I carried on working on the bike and was taking photos and not doing any video updates. I think the last video I did, hold on, I was doing a bracket for the rear hugger, which, if you can see, this is actually half of the front mudguard of the chap's bike that I got the rear subframe for the seat off. Now, as I'm building this on a budget, and I've gone over budget, I'm having to, rather than buying a rear hugger from the Cafe Racer kits, I fitted this mudguard on. But I don't think it looks too bad. Obviously I'm going to have a different tyre on there. Made a little bracket. Mounted it on the original brackets up in holes in on the joint of the mudguard. And it's only loose at the moment, but when we got the other tyre on, it looks quite good. But also, I've cut the slot in the tail for the LED rear light. I'm just going to finish that off. But also, I've made the battery tray. This is for one of those new gel lithium batteries, which I purchased, expensive purchase yet, at I think it was £108, which is like 3 times as much as a normal battery. But as you can see, it's half the size. We'll put some rubber in there, so that fits in, bolts in. So we're going to have the fuse box here. Now, what I've decided on is I put the old ignition in the side panel. 2 reasons. I've got the headlamp and the speedo for the bike, and there's no, with the motocross forks and yoke, there's no real position up here to put that massive great big ignition, original ignition off the CX. So I've tucked it in there, and it fits up in there. And I'm going to plate underneath here. I'm going to plate it, drill it, so that section will be removable. And I'm just deciding now whether to make the under tray here solid or removable. Can't quite make my mind up, because the LED lights going in here are going to cap that off. I'll show you that when I do that. This is the original seat mount. The reason I kept it is because of the catch and everything in here for the seat release. I don't have to mock that up. And there's the plastic bracket and everything all fits nice and snug in there. I think I might have to extend the catch for where the seat catches, because I made this such a tight fit, such a good fit. You've got to whack it to get it to engage. But once I get the seat foam on there, I'll never be able to hit it. So I think I've just got to extend. If I show you this catch on the bottom of the seat, just going to extend that probably only by about between 5 and 10 mil. I haven't measured it yet. But the chap who wanted who's going to make the seat, said if he could have a fiberglass base. But when I said to him I've got an original seat, he said that's fine, because he can staple, he can wrap the vinyl around and staple it along, and glues the foam in, and then tensions the material around, staples it round. So that's why I kept this original seat. It's nice and solid, rather than having a bit of wood or something. But I think I'm going to, I don't know if you can see it with the sun, I'm going to trim that last leg off. I'm going to make a tray there for the regulator to mount on, so it will be in a nice cool area, not affecting everything else. There's a lot of people mounting near the battery, but I don't want the heat off of the two to cause a problem. So the cable will run down here with the tail light cable, when we split the loom up. Gonna have to cut a hole there for the plug to slot through for the ignition, but there should be enough room there to fit the fuse box, the starter solenoid, maybe the ignition indicator relay, and we'll put a small webbing here, and the cables we're going to just notch this section here. I'm having trouble focusing now. Here you go. It might just sort of notch the section here for the cables to run through or run down through. I'm quite decided yet. But, it all got a bit complicated when I was trying to put. I haven't put anything on YouTube before, and a couple of videos I'm not talking on, and other ones I hadn't labelled up what parts they were. But I'm a bit of a technophobe. Anyway, yeah, rounded. You saw the last video, I think, where we attacked all this together. So I just welded all. You got to be careful with this galvanised plate, Zintec or Galvafoil. You need to sort of clean the galvanise off with a face mask on. And even when you tack it up and weld it, it burns back the galvanise. You need to have it well ventilated, that, because you get a lot of fumes coming off of that. And it's not the easiest stuff to weld. If you've got plain steel, it's better, but it was just some thin steel that I had knocking around, which was really good for making that double curvature. I just snipped out notches to curve it round and then welded it up. I didn't want anything, you know, too spectacular, but just wanted to see a slight curve on there. You can't have it too thin because of the tail light. But underneath here is going to be the brackets that hold the exhaust when the exhaust come up. Now I had the engine back in to do the pattern for the exhaust, but we've had the engine out, and because we thought it might have been seized up, but as we stripped it all down, I think it's just been standing for so long, it was just sort of solid. Now, after freeing the gearbox off and putting some WD-40 down the bores, the engine all freed off, which is the previous video. Engine's up there now, ready for cleaning and painting. But when we done the video of the engine, I was down at my brother's house. He was helping me do it because he got a tidier workshop. And when we had such a celebration about the bores freeing off, I forgot to do a video of the engine split down, which was a bit of a shame really, because there's some really good points on that. No doubt we'll probably get another engine and we might do another one. But this is I don't know if you can see it really. This is the aluminium welding wire we bent for the pattern for the exhaust. If you can see that. You bend it on the centre line where you want the exhaust to run. And there's an old chap who works for a company who says that you might be able to bend that. So I've ordered some stainless steel tubing, which was £10 a metre. We need 2 metres roughly for each side, and for the odd practice bend. And the minimum purchase was 6 metres, so it was £65 I think, for a length of 35mm stainless steel tubing with a 1.6 wall thickness, which is 2mm bigger than. So you see, I bought a stainless exhaust off of eBay purely for the front where the manifold section, so we can cut that off, join it to the new pipe, because the original exhaust was chromed and I wanted it all stainless. So it's got the stainless section on the front there. We can cut that off, join it onto the first bend, and the exhausters are going to run, rather than coming down underneath like most bikes, we're going to tuck it up underneath, motocross style, tuck it up around the back here underneath. Can't decide yet whether we're going to have it straight through / cut, or cut it back and get some nice silencers. I think I'll get some nice silencers to go on the back. I've never had a bike with upswept exhaust, but I like the idea of them coming out the tail rather than the new short exhaust which everyone seems to go for nowadays. You wouldn't have that on a motocross anyway. scrambler, you'd have a high up exhaust because of the mud and crap. Anyway, sorry I got behind on, so you couldn't see me making all this stuff here, fitting it all in. But I'll try and keep everything updated. Any questions on stuff? So even on the video I missed out cutting the back of the frame off and welding all this up, which was, I was a bit of an idiot, but I think I just get out here when I get a chance. I'm in such a rush, I forget to do it. But, okay guys, I'll try and do another video when I encase that in and get the light fitted in and put the plate in for the rectifier, because I need to move on. I decided to make my own headlight mounts because these forks are so big you can't get any cheap brackets to hold the headlamp, because these forks are 55mm. The biggest ones I found were 48, and then they jump from like £8.99 to 58 quid. I think I found a set that would fit on there, and it was quite a jump in price. So I thought, I've started making, cutting out the brackets. That was a test piece I did to see how it would fit. I've just got to file that end up, make 2 of those and make the small sections to go in the middle, that wraps around the back of the metal as a clamp, and paint them up. And I don't think you would know the difference between them and the £8.99 ones you can buy off eBay. The fact that they'll be made to measure. I bought one of these, couldn't decide on the headlamp I wanted, so I went for one of these cheap headlights. I think it was only like something like £8.99 with the indicators in, because I really wanted those wrap round indicators to go around here, but they're still quite pricey. So I went for the plastic headlamp with the indicators in. That make the brackets for there, so that'll be the headlamp. I've got a set of those clutch and brake lever master cylinder, like the old Ginger Geordie boy he bought for his. A new set of switches, $6.99, and the cheap LED. I haven't taken the cover off yet. Digital speedo, which we'll make the bracket and mount it up there, one side. £20.99, free postage to eBay. And the next one up from that, which I was looking at, I think you jump up to £130. So all lots of goodies all turned up, ready to fit on. I bought this is the paint sealer for the fuel tank, which I don't know if you can read that. It's a rust inhibitor, a pinhole sealer for inside the fuel tank. It's just enough there for a 4-gallon tank. So when we've sealed up all the holes in the tank, decided what we're doing with the emblems, and I'm toying with the idea of a fuel gauge fitment to go inside. I haven't found anything to fit in it yet. So still lots to do. Whether it will be on the road by the summer, nobody knows. Because once work starts again, I probably won't have time. Okay guys, cheers.